2024 World's Strongest Man is finished, and we have a new champion and a returning champion.
Yes.
So 3 times World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoneman. That's 3 titles in 4 years. It's absolutely crazy. Mitch Hooper gave him a little hump in the road.
Yes, that's all it was.
That's all it was. And now he says, "No, I want my title back."
Yeah. After Arnold Classic, everybody thought that it's like he's going to be again Mitch one's competition to lose when it comes to World's Strongest Man. But Tom just, again, he proved it that World's Strongest Man is his competition. Even last year where he performed so poorly in Arnold Classic.
He wasn't in the greatest shape.
No, at all. He finished like 7th place, I think. And then he came in so much stronger in World's Strongest Man. And Mitch Hooper, he won the competition, but like Tom wasn't that much behind. And this year he came in great shape in Arnold Classic, but even in a better shape in the World's Strongest Man.
After day one, like, it could have been anyone's title. When you looked at like Evan, Mitch and Tom, like either 3 of them, depending on how they did on day 2, which we can see now. Like,
so the day 2 was, I think, Conan's Wheel was one of the decisive events, and it went really, really well for Tom.
Even though the points were close at the end of day 1, like when you go event by event, you can see that Tom like clearly showed that he was going to be World's Strongest Man this year, like no less than 8 points.
Will anyone try to make an argument saying that Mitch kind of got stopped in the tracks after the first one because of his
hand?
Hands? I don't know. Well,
no, the hands were bad.
Yeah, they were bad, but I wouldn't call them as a tough injury as such. Like, I think in 2011, in my first World's Strongest Man, Big Z won the competition against Brian Shaw with a torn quad. He tore his quad, I think, in the heats during the squat. And I even remember now how like he kind of depressed was, but the guy managed to win the whole competition even with the torn quad. Though I know they were in the same points and they went in the count back on the victories and stuff like that. Still, a victory is a victory, and but that's a real injury to me. So when it comes to Mitch, his hands torn callus.
It's again, people will talk about it. It's a discussion.
It affected him, but like it didn't affect to the point where he would have.
Well, he lost so many points in the first event because of it.
I wonder, did he already made a post addressing the finals? What happened?
As far as I know, I don't even think he's after putting up a video. At the time of recording, I don't think he's put up a video. Eddie Hall was putting it up on videos as well, and he showed footage. And Eddie was kind of saying how bad it was. Maybe a bit too much. Either way,
he was maybe playing games over there,
But it's when you did see it, like the actual footage, like it is, like you're saying, bad. Like it's callous, obviously the skin and everything. But like you're saying, you get bad injuries. But that's why again,
like to me, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I know it's not bad of an injury, but I'm saying is that's why I was surprised. It's only when you find out afterwards. Like, how does Mitch get down to 5 points? Like you could see, like Evan Singleton ended up winning the first event, even though his foot nearly got crushed.
Yeah, that was a scary one.
Like even like the little video you sent me that we got sent to us, like it's I thought his foot was broke.
Yeah,
it's like you're saying, it's such a high.
The frame carry was the implement was kind of like a weird one, if you ask me. It was very low pickup,
very, very low.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that 330 is a big weight.
And then when you go into the second event, so day 1, event 2, like the max axle. You see them with the axle and you having to pick it up, and his hands, was it going to affect him? Yeah. Same thing, Eddie was talking to him as well.
But he didn't really.
No, it didn't, because he went for 220 kilos. He got 210.
Yeah.
He went for 220 and he did lift it, but he couldn't get set
to
right.
Get that 220, he needs to be a bit more fresh, so if he did a 1-day competition, let's say a Giants Live one, and they had max axle, I think
because Max Axel at that stage would be first event, more than likely, like a max log, max deadlift.
So I think he can get it, and he's, after watching his interviews, I think
he's very confident.
Yeah, he's very confident he can get that in a very near future.
As well as Mitch lifting 210 kilos, we had the current World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoneman, did 210 kilos.
Yeah,
2 of the guys look very easy lifts. Now I know we've seen, like I said before, Tom did 180 for 4 reps back in Arnold Classic, Ohio. But 210 kilos is serious weight. Yeah. And then you had Pavlo Kordiaka, did 200 kilos. Now
he's very technical.
He had a split and jerk, very, very well, very well done.
The same technique with the log, and he used the same technique with the axle. So for him, it's just explosve power.
You don't need the bigger shoulders.
No, you don't. Just to have that like perfect technique when it comes to like weightlifting techniques probably.
In the event as well, we had 2 like no lifts, like people didn't even attempt it. That was Wesley Derwinski and Ivor Schmauch-Stellis. So the opening weight was 170 kilos, and they just didn't attempt it, which I found to be a bit strange. Like from what I heard,
Ivor's from what
you took from it, yeah.
Yes, he was very tired already after the heats, and he was already saying like, "Oh, I qualify for the finals, but I'm not really in the mood to do the finals." I was like, "Oh, that's bad. You shouldn't be saying
as
stuff like that."
As he was taking off all his tackling.
Yeah, it's like, don't say stuff like that. Like, do it like
people are killed for a place in the
finals. Yeah, and you qualify to be like you when we become top 10 strongest.
You're going to, strongest people, you're going to lay it off. Like.
Yeah, and he was basically saying, like, that's it, I'm done. Like, I don't know.
Even though Wesley Derwinski didn't attempt the max axle, he went on to the next event and has now shared a world record in the cake toss.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know, is it like his shoulders is not that strong, but when it comes to cake toss, he was just unbelievable.
7.76 meters.
Yeah, so, like 3 of them shared the first place.
Again, Tom and Mitch, again, first place. Derwinski then in there as well. It's just, I think it's mental when you see, like, now, obviously, the other athletes competing, like Austin Andrade, I felt did very well on day 1. Now, in day 2, he kind of tapered off a little. Evan Singleton obviously did very well. But you can see, like you said in the last video, you said in previous video, you even said it today, that they're just, the 2 guys are just that step ahead.
Yeah.
And now that we see that Tom is just that step even further.
Yeah, when it comes to World's Strongest Man, it just the setup just suits him so much, and so hopefully, I don't know what's the Mitch Hooper's plans when it comes to the future competing in strongman, but I hope he'll stick with it for
because it wasn't like
a couple more years.
As far as I know, and you even hear people say like it's not going to be him for life. Like he's not going to be there for a lot of time.
Yeah, but like
you never know. Like things.
I still think he has like 4 or 5 years in him,
He's still 28?
Yeah.
He's not even 30, as well as Tom. Like 2 guys, like realistically, they could put on the best World's Strongest Man or even just pro strongman shows for the next 4 or 5 years. Like every promoter that's there is going to be thinking like, oh, just please stay, because realistically, if Tom leaves, Mitch is going to win every day. If Mitch leaves, Tom is going to win every day.
Yeah, it's nice to have that rivalry in strongman, like Big Z and Brian Shaw, Thor and Eddie. Like it's
every generation.
Yes, it's we need for Mitch Hooper to stay in the sport for another while, as in like 4 or 5 years. The same like Tom. If one of them decides to retire.
Get to your mid-30s.
Yeah, because everyone is talking about Evan. Like at the moment, Evan looked so much better this year. Like
relax.
Yes, Eddie was constantly saying that as well in his videos, that he's very surprised with Evan, with his composure and everything else. So it seems like mentally he's in the right place, but physically he's still a level down from Tom and Mitch Hooper. So can he catch up with them? I think we'll see in a couple of more years. But at the moment, I think those 2 guys just to get ahead, way ahead.
So like we were saying, after day 1, the points were very close to the top 3. Like 2-3 points is all that was in between them. But then after the first event, then at day 2, after the Conan's wheel, that's where, say, Evan kind of dropped a lot of points. On the Conan's wheel, we had Cordiaca winning the event, as probably everybody suspected. Mitchell Hooper came second, even though he wanted to try to break the world record. Either way, he came second with 9 points, and then Tom with third. And we had Evan all the way down, like he got 4 points for which, look, it's not terrible either. Like 598 degrees, it's still a lot for 250 kilos, but it's just to get to that, to the podium or to stay on the podium, even get to first or second place. You can see from this year that you have to be near perfect. On every event.
You have to be top 3, top 4 if you want to win basically the whole competition. But that's like in any other main competition throughout the year. You have to be like, you have to have the least weaknesses. Otherwise, you
don't have to be perfect at something. You just have to be very good.
No.
But even like Matthew Ragg surprised me. Like for a guy that's statically strong, like he finished 4th. Like like for like what was he 460 kilos he deadlifted not so long ago, and it was like an easy 460. And now he's able to move as well. Like that's like, I know when it comes to deadlifts now, you could count Matthew Ragg as like the Graham Hicks at the moment. Like, you know, like when it comes to a deadlift competition, you can say, right, he's near enough going to win it. Even though Matthew did very well in the Conan's wheel, and like we were saying, his deadlift is phenomenal. You could then see in the next event, which was the deadlift, that he just run away with the show. Like, took it with 8 reps. Now, I know second place was 7 reps, you want to call it. We couldn't see the footage like for the whole event, obviously, but I can imagine that his 8 reps were smooth. I can imagine that it probably didn't tax him that all.
It probably was, and I'm surprised that Mitch Hooper got only 6 reps. Again, we haven't seen the footage, so it's very hard to speculate, to say things. Probably if we try to say outrageous things, we're gonna get called out.
Yeah, but like the thing is,
I thought like Mitch Hooper is better deadlifter than Tom. I really thought that.
You did say that.
But
like, even based on this, his career early,
based on this, he's not. When it comes to reps, like Tom is up there. I know, like probably when it comes to max deadlift, Mitch is a little bit better than Tom. But when it comes to reps, I think Tom and Mitch on the same level. And in this competition, Tom is even better.
Like I did say, now the only thing I can think of is Mitch's hands. Now I know you're using straps and things like that, but that's the only reason I can think to Mitch only getting 6 reps.
Yeah,
that's the only reason, because you'd expect Mitch to be up there with the top. Because Mitch he's an all-rounder.
I really thought that's where Tom will lose the points against Mitch, but he didn't, and that's where Tom, I think, from that on, going to the stones, everybody kind of knew that. Yeah,
because
like
game
over.
The points difference at that stage, like. The only way I think that Tom would have lost it is if he was like maybe a point or 2 behind Mitch going into the Atlas Stones.
Yeah.
Because then you have to try make that gap as quick as you can, and hopefully the other athletes will get in between Mitch and Tom. But like, I think once the deadlift is done, you could I'd say to start making the post at that stage for Tom Stoutman, 3-time world's strongest man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tom is the only person to finish it. Yeah, but it's 210 kilos. Yeah. And the style it was as well. It wasn't.
I was watching that video. I was like, I would struggle at my height.
The podiums are high, but like even the distance as well. The stones weren't right at the platforms. You had to walk with them, and it's like old school.
I know it's the same kind of stone run last year, but to me, just from my perspective, I was like, I don't know how would compare when it comes to, especially only one person was able to finish it. The other guys were probably just fatigued and tired.
Height is played a big factor in it. Like.
Yeah, and Evan didn't do that great either.
No, he
did only 3 stones. Yeah, and he won like 3rd place only by half a point. So Matthew Ragg had a legitimate chance of like winning it.
So Matthew really, he gained 3 points in the first event of day 2, so the Conan's wheel. He gained 6 points in the second event. Like, you know, he was slowly chipping away, and only half a point. Like if he managed to get the 5th stone, like that was it. He was on the podium.
You would have been 3rd place, easy.
I think it's crazy that how after day 1 there was only a couple of points separating them, and then on day 2, like at the final, you have 53 points for Tom Stoutman, then down to 47.5 points for Tom or for Mitch, and then down to 36 points. Like, you're talking, like, usually you'd expect for the top 3 to be very close, but not like in the 10-point difference for second and third.
Tom is just like, again, he's on another level, you know, especially when it comes to World's Strongest Man competition. It seems like one time a year he just pretty much can peak perfectly, you know, and that time of year is the World's Strongest Man competition. We'll see what's going to happen in the future with him. Will he try to like now just rest up and get ready for the Show Classic, you know, and will he be as dominant as he was in the World's Strongest Man?
Or does Mitch have a little burden he wants to try to get back? Look, it all depends, but the main question is, how many times is Tom going to be World's Strongest Man?
I said it before, I'll say it again. I think he can win 6 times. He's only 29. He'll be 30 this year.
He's in his prime.
He's still getting better. He never had like bad injuries,
as far as we know.
Yeah. So it seems like the way he's.
I think he needs
not being consistent throughout the year actually works better for him.
I think he needs Mitch to help him get better.
Yes. Otherwise, he'll get too comfortable.
He'll get too comfortable. But the thing is as well, like obviously Mitch being there is going to prevent him from winning the World's Strongest Man, because it could go back and forth.
And it's good for the sport that we don't have a dominant champion as would be Tom without Mitch.
It makes it too boring. You need that rivalry. But like genuinely, I think 5-6 times world's strongest man is very possible for
I
Tom.
think at the moment he's on. I think he's the person who can break that 5-time title thing. You know,
get Pudzianowski out there.
Yeah. And I think if Tom does it, like he cements. Yes, he can cement himself being the greatest of all time.
Because you have Brian Shaw, Big Z, regarded like two of the greatest.
Yeah.
If he can get 2 more world strongest man titles.
Even if he can, in the process, if he can win like 1 or 2 Arnold Classics, 1 or 2 like
Rogue Invitation, Shaw Classics.
I think then nobody should try
Hands
to
down,
argue. By the time he's retired, let's say at 35, 36 years of age, like I think he would be the most accomplished
strongman
of all time.
Yeah. Imagine then having him having children. Like imagine like your father was like 6-time world strongest man, your uncle was 2-time Euro strongest man.
That's an insane achievement. Yeah. Like
so
Big Z has a lot of titles when it comes to Arnold Classic and stuff like that, but like a lot of people appreciate World's Strongest Man a bit more than Arnold Classic. Other people appreciate Arnold Classic more than World's Strongest Man titles.
If you go to an average Joe on the side of the road and you say, I'm an Arnold Classic winner, he's like, what's that? Yeah, and you say, I'm the world's strongest man.
Yeah, that's a different story.
It's just, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, but just the wording means
it's so much
more
better
when it comes to World's Strongest Man.
When it came to the social media side of it, like I think it was done very well. Like all the graphics, as much information I suppose as they could give for videos without obviously leaking it too much that you're getting into the television rights side of it and all this kind of things. Now even this year as well, I think people respected the copyright side of it a lot more than what they did last year. Like if people remember the controversy video I made last year.
Yeah, but I watched actually the post that they made about announcing the winner as Tom Stallman, and I watched went through the comments, and the main complaint is still everybody thinks that they should try to live stream it, but
look, in a perfect world,
just the money.
In a perfect world, it would. Yeah. But like, realistically, for you to give up the television rights, like I know people look at television as like it's probably a dying thing.
Yeah.
And like streaming is the way forward. It kind of is, but like, there's no point in you saying, right, television is dead. Let's just go straight to live stream, because that drop in finances, you can't justify it over a space of 2-3 years. Like your live stream is never going to be the same. Like. I see now like WWE is going to Netflix from next year streaming wise, so like they won't be streaming on TV, it'll be now on Netflix. Now in a grand scheme of things that works for a lot of people, like a lot of say big events as such. For the world's strongest man, I don't think it's just not there in regards of like the following.
They probably know the numbers. They know the numbers. They have the accountants. They said, right, how many people potentially can watch World's Strongest Man through the gates all the way to the final, and how much you can charge them. Will people pay that? And they already know the overall how much money they would make. And for them, it's probably makes sense still go with the live stream, old school media. I don't know, like what do you call them? Channel 5, I think, in Britain.
Yeah, but like it's like that. Like the television companies, like they're probably given a couple of million realistically. All in all,
I wonder. I don't know, but it probably I think to set up a World's Strongest Man costs what, over $1 million?
Oh, easy.
Yeah, it's still worth for them to work with these channels instead of trying to stream that live.
Because realistically, now I know we're going off topic, but this is part of the opinion. Like we have to give this because I think a lot of people do talk about, like you're saying in comments.
Yeah.
But like for them to live stream it wouldn't work. For the world, it wouldn't work, because for me personally, I'm not going to watch The World's Strongest Man if it's in America in Myrtle Beach, because the time difference is too severe.
The time difference is an issue.
It's so severe. Like if I want to be watching, say like Giants live, I'm lucky that I live in Ireland and it's 5 p.m. start time.
Yeah, but on the other hand, we watch kind of like Rogue Invitationals. We do, yes, and we don't, because if it drags on into like after like 1 o'clock or in the night, it's like you can't.
Like
do that.
We did the first video, say for day one. What were we here till like 20 past 12:30, and
yes,
it was like it was near 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And you're drained, and like it gets to a stage where you're like, I know we're not watching it, you're looking at the live scoring, and you're just getting like, when is this going to end? And that's not the way it should be. But like no matter where you put in the world, you're going to have like, obviously certain parts of the world are going to be favoured. Now like Rogue Invitational next year in Scotland.
Like, that's perfect. How are they it's gonna suit Americans though?
That's the thing, but it'll suit us perfect.
Yeah, it will suit us perfect.
Because we have the exact same time difference. But like obviously the Americans are going to be earlier in the day. And it might be like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning when the event starts for them. But look, that's just the way it is. I think that's where the live stream part of it, especially if you have to pay for the live stream, like for official strongman, and it'd probably be the same situation. It works out around like €10, say $10 a month.
Yeah.
So like the viewership, you might get say for people getting the live streams for the payments, but for actual watching it, you mightn't get as big a numbers. It's just it's finance.
At the moment, it suits them to work with the channels.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because like that you can't obviously watch it live stream. You have to wait 5 or 6 months, and people aren't happy with it. But I think if you want to go to the World's Strongest Man, you literally have to fly out there.
Yeah, pretty.
And that's just the way it is.
That it'll get probably the best experiences.
Oh yes, like especially this year now, like it didn't seem as bad as what it was last year.
Especially the finals. Finals looked just perfect. Like in the heats, yes, they didn't have a lot of people watching it, but I don't think that they care about it too much. But other than that, like for the finals, maybe it's worth to flying out.
I think next year we need to hire someone to send us videos or like certain YouTubers do. But either way. So that's basically the World's Strongest Man 2024. Like congratulations Tom Stoneman, 3-time champion. Well deserving from when you look at the scores.
Yep.
I can't wait to actually watch the footage and see how well he did. Either way, if you like this kind of video, make sure to press the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to press subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to press the bell icon. It'll keep you up to date with everything that's Lawless Brothers. We'll see you in a future video.
See you later, guys.